Hello, algebra students. We're going to continue working with solving inequalities. In this lesson, we will be using the multiplication and division properties. So I'm going to share the screen. And we will go through the PowerPoint. The first slide is the warm-up for today, so you might want to have a piece of paper handy. Go ahead and pause the video, and when you're ready, you can try these problems. Okay, welcome back. So the warm-up says, write each inequality, then tell whether or not it is true or false. And then what conclusions can you make from looking at these inequalities? So the first one, we have 4 is greater than 2. And that's certainly true. If it looks like we multiply both sides by 3, is 3 times 4 greater than 3 times 2? Yep. If I look at the third one, if I multiply both sides by 0, is 0 greater than 0? No, so you should have false for the third one. Next, looks like we're multiplying both sides by a -3. So now the question is -3 times 4 greater than -3 times 2? And that would be no, that would be less. How about if we multiply both sides by -1? Is -4 greater than -2? Or no, it is not. All right, let's look at dividing. Looks like we still had our 4 is greater than 2, but now we've divided both sides by 3. So is 4/3 greater than 2/3? Yes, so that should be true. And let's look at the very last one. If we divide both sides by -2, 4 divided by -2 would be -2. 2 divided by -2 is -1. Is -2 greater than -1? No, so you should have false for that one. All right, so it says here, for the warm-up, you should have noticed that multiplying or dividing by a negative number changes an inequality. So the multiplication and division property for inequality says if the number that you're multiplying both sides by is negative, you start out with a is greater than b, but if I multiply by a negative number, I'm going to have to reverse the inequality. So if I look here, originally it starts with a is greater than b, but if c is negative, when I multiply by a negative number, the inequality now changes to less than, whether you're multiplying or dividing. So the tip you need to remember today is if you multiply or divide by a negative number, you need to reverse the inequality symbol. So let's look at some examples, or in your student journal on page 41. It says solve the inequality and graph the solution. I'm going to grab a pen. And our first one, we have 6x is less than -30. So we start out solving these just like we would solve an equation. I'm trying to get x by itself. So in this first case, I would divide both sides by 6. Whoa, that was crazy. Oh my, I'm going to divide both sides by 6. No, we're going to go back and we're going to try that again. Okay. This is so much fun making videos, let me tell you. All right, I'm going to grab a pen again. Let's go down here. We've got crazy pens going on tonight. All right, we're set. So I'm going to start by dividing both sides by 6. All right. And 6 divided by 6 is 1, so we get x is less than. And -30 divided by 6 is -5. Notice we divided by a positive number, so we didn't need to worry about changing the inequality. And now we're just the same kind of problem we were doing all of last week. I need to get some numbers on my number line. I'm going to put -5, -4, -3. And this direction, I'll go -6, -7. So we're looking for values of x that are less than -5. That's going to be an open circle because we are not including the value of -5. There's no equal sign. And values that are less than -5 are to the left. So I draw my arrow to the left. I put an arrowhead on the end because I know the values go on forever to the left. All right, let's look at number 2. This time I have the variable on the right. So I'm going to leave it on the right. I'm going to divide both sides by 16 to get f by itself. 48 divided by 16 is 3. So this says 3 is less than or equal to f. All right, I need a 3 on my number line this time. I'm going to go 3, 4, 5 to the right, and 2 and 1 to the left. This time I make a closed dot at 3 because I'm including the value 3 since it says equal to. And now it says 3 is less than any of the numbers that I choose for f. So that means 3 has to be less than all the numbers I pick, which means the numbers in the solution are to the right. And I draw my arrow going forever to the right. All right, let's look at the next example. All right, this is number 4. Again, I'm going to grab my pen. This time, it says negative 4m is greater than or equal to negative 16. So I start out by dividing by negative 4, but I have to remember the rule, and that is if I multiply or divide by a negative number, I need to reverse the inequality. So instead of this saying m is greater than or equal to, it now needs to say m is less than or equal to, and negative 16 divided by negative 4 is a positive 4. So I need a number 4 on my number line. I'm going to do 5 and 6 to the right, 3 and 2 to the left. It is a closed circle at 4 because we have that equal sign, right? Less than or equal to, and numbers that are less than or equal to 4 are to the left on the number line. So I'm going to draw my arrow to the left. All right, this time number 5, we have a number being divided by negative 6. To undo division, we multiply just like we do with equations. I need to multiply both sides by negative 6. But if you hear yourself saying multiply or divide by a negative number, you need to remember to reverse the inequality. So this will turn into x is less than, and 1/3 times negative 6 is negative 2. All right, I need a negative 2 on my number line. I'm going to put a negative 1 and a 0 to the right, a negative 3 and negative 4 to the left. I put an open dot at negative 2, and numbers that are less than negative 2 are any values that are to the left of negative 2 on the number line. So draw my arrow, fill it in, going to the left. All right, this is your assignment. It's in the book. The link to the pages you need from the textbook are on today's agenda. Remember, if you multiply or divide by a negative number when you're solving an inequality, you got to remember to reverse the inequality symbol. Okay, good luck.